Hi. There's a gun on.
Bro, it's the quiet car. Gotta use your small inside voice in here, son.
There's a gun.
Action! Brad Pitt. Oh wait, you want other reasons to go see Bullet Train? Okay, well, before we get into those, we need to unpack the whitewashing controversy surrounding the movie. You see, even before Bullet Train was released, people watched the trailer and accused the production of whitewashing Maria Beetle, which is the book the movie is based on. That book is set in Japan and written by best-selling Japanese author Kotaro Isaka, and in case you haven't noticed, Brad Pitt isn't very Japanese.
Maybe.
So what is whitewashing? Well, for those who came in late, the term describes the practice of casting white actors in non-white roles in film and TV. It's been going on for a long time in Hollywood, and it used to be real bad. Some of the worst examples of all time include Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
But that was 2 weeks ago! You cannot go on or keep ringing my bell!
And Christopher Lee as Fu Manchu.
One slash of the knife, and she will join her father.
And there are also a bunch of sketch comedy shows on TV that haven't aged well at all.
My brother's the best. I'm gonna go to America to get a record deal for him.
But these days, the conversation around whitewashing is a little more complicated. A great example of that is last year's big screen adaptation of Lin-Manuel Miranda's blockbuster musical, In the Heights.
The streets were made of music.
It was a vibrant celebration of Latinx culture, but Miranda was criticised for casting too many light-skinned Latino people to play the residents of New York's Washington Heights, which has a large, dark-skinned Afro-Latino population.
Little details that tell the world we are not invisible.
I guess the takeaway here is whitewashing is generally a bad thing, but sometimes, according to woke Twitter, it's very hard to get everything right. So where does that leave us with Bullet Train?
Talk to me.
I am ready. You are getting the new and improved me.
Well, it's pretty straightforward to see that non-white actors have been cast as what most people would assume are Japanese characters.
I think you might be forgetting what you do for a living.
But guess what? The bloke who created those characters, Kotaro Isaka, has thrown his support behind this adaptation. And not only that, 2 of the film's executive producers are Japanese filmmakers who've embarked on a mission to America to get more stories from the land of the rising sun given a Hollywood makeover. And why would they do that? Well, for reasons that no one really understands, Japanese live-action cinema has never really caught on with Western audiences. We love the animated films of Miyazaki, and Hollywood directors froth over Kurosawa, but that's about it. Meanwhile, blockbusters from China and even South Korea do so much better at the international box office. The most successful live-action Japanese film recently was the Oscar-winning masterpiece Drive My Car, but even that was the sort of slow-going movie that really only appeals to fans of indie cinema. Because of that, Bullet Train should be seen as a test case for how Japanese stories could be brought to Western audiences with the blessing of Japanese creatives, rather than as an example of whitewashing or cultural appropriation.
I gotta get off this train.
So now we've established all of that, is Bullet Train any good? Well, I'm happy to report that it lives up to expectation. That is, if you're expecting a wildly entertaining action movie with incredible fight choreography from Deadpool 2 director David Leitch, who actually started his career in show business as a stuntman himself. His new film does exactly what it says on the box, as it follows the fortunes of an unlucky assassin codenamed Ladybug, played by Brad Pitt, who must survive a bullet train ride from Tokyo to Kyoto with some of the world's deadliest killers. Competing agendas, revealed gradually through graphically violent flashbacks, give the whole thing a Kill Bill vibe.
Hey, this is nice.
And the addition of Aaron Taylor-Johnson of Kick-Ass fame and Eternal star Brian Tyree Henry playing a pair of British gangsters brings to mind Turkish and Tommy from Snatch.
What's wrong with this one? Oh, nothing, Tommy. It's tip-top.
So yeah, Bullet Train is pretty much what you'd get if Tarantino, Guy Ritchie and Deadpool got together and had a love child.
Doesn't get simpler.
How would that even work?
You stab me?
Anyway, going back to my very first point, the main reason to watch this movie is, of course, Brad Pitt.
Hang in there, buddy!
Who is so at ease with his abilities at this stage of his career that it's just a joy to watch. But now look, the film is not perfect. The plot is kind of silly, and some of the performances are a bit hammy. But if you're looking for an action movie that'll entertain without making you think too hard, well, this is the movie for you. Bullet Train gets 2.5 stars.